All right. We're live, big guy.
All right.
So, hey, live here in the Florida Wrestling Room again. Uh, we're here with Top Gun head coach and Strawberry Crest head coach, Blake Olson. So, hey, how are you today, buddy?
Doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, for sure, man. So, first things first, how everybody safe, healthy, your team, your club members, your family, you?
Yeah, the couple I've talked to are doing good. They're really antsy to get back in the room and wrestle. Same as me. Going this long without being in a room and getting my hands on somebody.
Oh, I can imagine. I have a 14-year-old that's itching to get back too. So um, he misses it a lot. So, well, I'm glad everybody's healthy, fun. So first, tell us a little bit about your story. I know you were a Illinois state placer. You wrestled in college, coached in college, and now you're here.
Yeah, grew up in Illinois in the wrestling circuit there. Bounced around a bunch of different clubs. I actually wrestled with Tony Ramos when I was a little kid. We're about the same age. And did the whole club scene there. Qualified for state a couple times when I was in middle school. Just barely got away from placing in middle school. And then went on to high school at Wilmington High School. Our high school team was really good. We were 3-time state champions out there. So I didn't break the lineup even my freshman year of high school. We had a two-timer at my weight and a third place kid returning at the weight below me. So couldn't break the lineup my freshman year, but sophomore year qualified, junior year qualified, and then senior year I ended up placing third. Lost to the state champ. It was a two-time returner. It's pretty good.
Wow. So, man, that's awesome. So what a run. So then you obviously you went on to college.
Yeah, I went down to wrestle at North Central College in Naperville, Illinois, and my time there was amazing. I couldn't trade it for anything else. I was looking at a couple other schools, maybe Michigan, maybe NIU to go D1 or something like that. But when I went on my visit there and got to know the guys on the team there and coaching staff there, I knew that was home for me, and I wouldn't have traded it to go D1 or anything else like that. They're a D3 program.
Yeah, I mean that's awesome to hear too, because I think that obviously a lot of the kids dream to go to a D1 school, but
Right.
They don't realize how important it is just to wrestle. Get to a college, wrestle, even D2, D3, NAIA. I
Yeah.
think
I
wrestling.
think there's a big misconception about the talent drop off at the different levels. I think as far as D3 goes, the talent level at the top is just as good as most of the talent level in D1. I mean, it's really competitive. There's 126 schools, I think, right now in D3, 126 D3 wrestling programs in the country, and there's 63 D1 schools. So the talent pool is a lot wider.
Now, tell me if I'm hearing the truth. Like I hear I've heard some people say they go NAIA instead of D3 because D3 can't offer a scholarship, but NAIA can. And
Yeah,
how has that affected the two?
what D3 does to make up for that, there's a lot more academic opportunities, academic scholarships and things like that, because they're mostly private schools.
Okay.
And then they're also able to offer grants and things like that. So I actually got a grant from North Central's volleyball team. I'm not playing volleyball or anything, but their program raised enough money to where they could kind of endow our team a little bit. So I got some money from that.
Oh, there's other ways for.
Yeah, and then I got enough money from between the grants and academic scholarships. I didn't pay much going to college.
Oh, well, that's awesome. That's good because I hear, it seems like these NAI schools are growing and they're getting a lot of good talent over the D3s, and that's what I had heard.
Yeah, they're definitely competitive, especially Grandview at the top. They're always really competitive.
That's awesome. So then you got into coaching. You coached up at Millikan. Where is that?
Millikan University. That's in Decatur, Illinois. They're actually conference rivals with North Central. So the past two out of the past 3 years, North Central had won a conference up there.
So how was that like coaching against your old team?
It was rough. There's definitely some conflicting loyalties. My head coach from North Central said, I'm behind you. This is what you want to do. No hard feelings or anything. And just coaching in a duel against them was definitely really weird. And going through and shaking hands with all the guys that I know and all that was definitely weird. And then I left Milliken after that, and then Milliken actually won conference this year with a bunch of guys that I was recruiting when I was there. So
And that's when you came down here.
yeah, came down here to Florida 2 years ago, and I actually kind of owe it to the Florida Wrestling Room page to where I'm at now, because when I got down here, I made a post and said, hey, these are my credentials. I'm willing to help out any teams around the area or run camps and clinics or anything like that, anything you want me to do. And Coach Will Terry at Strawberry Crest got a hold of me and kind of got my foot in the door here, and I ended up getting a job at Strawberry Crest as a teacher, and then getting hooked up there.
Oh, that's awesome. So now you're involved in Florida wrestling. So you started Top Gun? Is that the
Yeah.
club you started? And where is Top Gun?
We're based out of the Strawberry Festival Fairgrounds.
Nice.
So one of the main buildings at the Strawberry Festival, we practice right out there. It's like a giant warehouse. We can hold 8 mats in there and have a big.
So that's Lakeland, right? Right by Lakeland?
It's in Plant City.
Plant City, yeah. So that long road that backs up during the Strawberry Fest.
Yeah, we're right there, right in the middle of the festival grounds. Charger Wrestling Club was in place when I got to Strawberry Crest, but it was more of kind of just a program to get our kids some extra work in the summer. And I think I wanted to open it up to other wrestlers in the area and kind of be independent from the school a little bit, so we can pull in some talent and get some guys grinding in the summer that usually wouldn't see each other on a day-to-day basis.
And it's grown to what it is now, right?
Yeah. Now we have monthly brawls where we have over 100 kids in the room on Saturdays, and then we get probably 35, 40 kids of practice during the week.
I think, haven't you guys come up to the Rumbles in Orlando?
And none of the Rumbles there just yet. We have our own Rumbles usually once a month that we try to invite people out to.
Oh, nice. And you're centrally located, so it's
we're in the
people from up here in Orlando, and then people from Lakeland.
Right.
Tampa.
We get as far down as Bradenton and all that.
Oh,
Teams
wow.
from St. Pete and Manatee comes out and all that.
So you're getting kids. Obviously, you probably have some Lake Gibson kids in your room and all those.
Yeah, they've stopped by plenty of times. Coach Walker brings his squad out to our Rumbles plenty of times. Been able to wrestle with a lot of those guys.
Nice. So tell us, I guess, about the club, what you guys are doing, tournaments you guys go to. I know you put on Rumbles. Tell us about your high school team. I mean, how'd you guys do this year?
Coach CJ Gittens left me with a really good squad when I first got here. So last year, my first year here, we ended up being, district champs and the dual district champs also. And we had a pretty good run there as a team. We had a 5th placer last year and 3 qualifiers. And then this year, the cupboard was a little bit more bare. We had a bunch of seniors graduating and everything. So we're stretched out a little bit. And we had 1 qualifier this year. It's 1 match away from placing, a couple of points. He should have got it done, but he's real close.
You were in the room, right?
Yeah, we're rebuilding in a big way this year.
Man, that's great. So talk about, wrestling and life and what it means to you and your kids and how you've become who you are because of it.
Yeah, for me, wrestling is it's the biggest part of my life. I think when I was in it, when I was competing, I didn't realize how much I loved it and how big of a part of my life it was. And then once I graduated college and had my last match and kind of looked back, I knew that all I wanted to do from then on is just stay involved in wrestling and have it be a big part of my life. And I've fallen in love with the sport more now than I think I ever was when I was competing.
And it's amazing because I speak to any other athlete that didn't wrestle or that's in a different sport, and you don't, they have friends and they have passion, whatever, but it's just, I played that in high school or college, but
right.
But what you hear from wrestlers and the community and the family, it's like a friendship that's built, and it's incredible. So talk Florida wrestling, man. I know that we're getting a lot of you guys from the North and the Midwest and hotbeds of wrestling that are now coming down here and building the programs here in Florida. How good is Florida? How good has it gotten? I know there's some big time middle schoolers coming up, and where do you think it can go? I mean, can it be a Michigan, a Ohio, an Illinois? Wisconsin? Can it get there?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, before I knew how good Florida wrestling was, before I was down here, I might have, scoffed at that when I was living in Illinois or whatever. You got the power states up there. There's Illinois, there's Ohio, there's Pennsylvania, and there's Iowa. And, that's like where the best wrestling in the country is. And since I moved down here, Florida can definitely compete with all of those states. Moving forward is just keeping kids involved in the sport as much as they want to be, not pushing them to be year round. Like they're allowed to be multiple sport athletes if they want to be, but just developing a love for the sport in them through these off-season clubs like Top Gun and things like that. And then developing the fan base a little bit more from the people that aren't so used to wrestling and it being a big sport in Florida, just kind of showing them what wrestling is. And
how can we keep our kids? How can we put something? How can we keep our top tier kids staying here and not going up to some of those schools? It's tough, right?
Well, you got an obvious answer. We need a D1 program down here.
Yeah.
Even having a D1 program at somewhere like Georgia State, something like that, it would allow the Florida wrestlers to stay involved with Florida wrestling just because the proximity of it. But definitely having a program here in Florida
would keep them in the high schools because they know there's a D1 school local that'll look at them.
Right. Yeah. Or even like having there's a American Top Team down here, having some of those guys that are training MMA that used to be really good high school wrestlers or really good college wrestlers, them getting involved in the high schools around the area. I just read Daniel Cormier had Pitch Nanny move out there to train MMA with him, and now he's going to coach at the high school level with him also at Gilroy. So like imagine having that coaching staff.
Yeah, that's what I saw. The kids at CFWA got invited out there.
Yeah,
like prep and
imagine having Daniel Cormier and Nick Piccinini as your high school coaches. Like,
yeah, I was wondering. I should have asked though. I should have asked them when I was talking to them once. Like, hey, I mean, you had to shake Cormier's hand at the end of the match. That must have been like at the end where you like getting autographs and posing with them, or was Coach Palaz like, none of that? Let's go. But go ahead.
One of the kids clubs I used to go to when I was a kid was there was a Top Gun in Illinois, same name and everything. And Joey Gilbert ran that. He was a 4-time state champ from Illinois, and he had Clay Guida in there every single day. There was a lower level for all the kind of kids and everything, and then a lot of the state qualifiers and state placers would go upstairs and train with Clay while he was getting ready for his UFC fights and all that. So that was real cool. Oh, and I helped out Montini up there too.
So during the off season, do you guys with Top Gun go off to some of these national tournaments, or do you stay kind of local?
See, we went to Super 32 the past couple of years. We do all of the what's it called? The Ione Florida tournaments at the youth level, and then we do all the FAWA events also. We did all those last year.
Nice. And do you guys do I know that last year I don't know if I saw Top Gun, but like the ECW, East Coast AAU.
Right. Yeah. We see all those teams.
Yeah,
we're getting to the stage where we can compete with a lot of the top youth clubs in the state. We have a bunch of studs coming through. That's why I'm really looking forward to the next couple of years.
And now I know they say at like some of these clubs like CFWA, if there's a Rumble on Saturday, you're better off going to the Rumble than to like just a tournament where you might only get 2 or 3 matches. You can get, where you're rumbling for 5 hours.
Yeah,
you feel the same way.
I definitely subscribe to that train of thought, especially the way that we run our Rumbles. So I'll do a technique session for all the kids for the first 45 minutes to an hour. I'll get a quick warm up, and I'll do my technique session where the kids can see some technique and work it as they're warming up for the Rumble. And then we'll do just a bunch of matches of the lower weights. You get a couple matches, and then the middle weights come on, and then the upper weights come on. So you get like a 2-minute break in between your matches, and we just keep rolling for 4 hours. So you might get 8, 10, 12 matches.
Yeah, so much better.
Along with technique.
And you're with top kids, right?
Right. We got like Gibson coming in and Manatee, and then us, and it's the all-stars between Tampa Bay and Orlando are all there.
Cool. So how do we if you're someone listening to this and you're wanting to get your kid into a club and Top Gun is the closest, and how do they get involved with you? How do they sign up? What are the costs? I mean, do you do
Yeah, so we have our Top Gun Wrestling Club, or the Top Gun Wrestling Academy page on Facebook. We're located at 2301 West Oak Avenue in Plant City. It's right on the Strawberry Festival grounds. If you Google Strawberry Festival, you'll come and find us. We're nonprofit, so none of the coaches make anything off of this. We just do it because, you know, we love wrestling. So it's $60 a month just to pay for our rent at that facility, and that's all that goes to. And then the extras go back to the kids for gear and everything, and tournament fees.
Well, that's awesome. It's good that you're doing that, and it's, you know, I'm new to this whole thing the last couple of years with my son starting to get into the game, and it's done wonders for him, just his life, his mentality, his body, everything. Yeah. He's not big and fat like his dad anymore. He's
it's the best sport for developing.
Yeah. Nice and thin and healthy. And what are you having? So what are you having your kids do right now during the downtime where they can't get out? Are you doing virtual stuff, keeping them active?
I know a couple of them have been watching BB streams and trying to get into that. I'm working on trying to get a couple of them some mats and everything, but I've been telling them, you know, just go on runs, you know, wrestle with your brothers and sisters, because a lot of them go to the club together. Find a tree limb, do some pull-ups, find a rock, do some curls, you know, caveman stuff.
Yeah, whatever you can do to stay in shape, right?
Yeah.
I don't have much else. I wish I had more questions for you. Anything else? Anything that you find valuable that you can bring to the room?
I mean, just if you're a high school coach that doesn't have a club, don't be stingy with your kids. You know, send them to us. We'll get them better. It's not like I'm trying to poach kids or anything. I'm simply there to have all the talent in the same room as we can get, and develop the wrestling for the better. You know, I'm not trying to get kids to go to Strawberry Crest that are going to school elsewhere. The more hammers we can get in the room, and the more technique they can see from somebody that, you know, wrestled in college and coached at the college level, the better it's going to be. That's
good to hear, because I think you do get coaches that are probably like, well, I don't want to bring my kid. So
or they have some success and they want to say that this is my kid. I did this. You know, they want to claim that. But
right.
I'm not out here to claim, you know, accolades for other people's kids or anything. I'm there to wrestle. I love wrestling myself. I wrestle every single day in practice. I'm always strapped on my shoes for every single practice. I'm trying to get as much, you know, mat time as I can get too.
Man, that's fun. Well, obviously, as a parent of a Florida wrestler, I'm glad that wrestling is growing. Guys like you are coming here and putting together these programs, because the better wrestlers that are in town all the kids are going to get better. I mean, we've seen South Dade and Lake Highland and Lake Gibson, and, you know, those kind of schools have been good, and it kind of created in those areas, other schools have gotten better wrestlers. And because of those clubs, Top Gun or CFWA or BB Trained, and because of those clubs are offering kids to come in and do that, it's, you know, it's making all the wrestlers better. So
yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, man. And I'd love to have you on any time. And if you're definitely, I mean, get on the Connor BB thing. We can try and get your kids' mats too. Post it.
Yeah, definitely.
What we can do to help. And I hope you enjoyed the time on here. I know when Ricky's on, he's always asking questions. I think like, let's try it. Coke or Pepsi?
Coke. I don't really drink
water. I'm trying to remember it off the top of my head.
I'll say Mountain Dew.
Water or fresh water?
Fresh water.
What did he ask earlier? I think he said cowboy and Western music or rap.
I guess cowboy and Western.
What is it? Country, right? When I was a kid, I used to call it cowboy and Western. My dad would make fun of me. Gosh, I don't know all the other ones he would ask, but it's fun to do it.
Right.
Oh, freestyle or folk style?
I would say, okay, I got a long tirade about this, but so I'm definitely better at folk style. I was always a top guy in high school and college. I'm a leg rider, so I would rather compete in folk style because that's where my strengths are. Freestyle is way more fun to watch. Sure. Freestyle is definitely a better product to watch.
Nice, awesome. And I can't remember any of the other questions, but I did pretty good. I got some good ones out there for you, right?
Yeah, that's good.
All right, man. Well, if I can ever do anything to help, and if I ever have my kid around that area, I'll bring him by so he can.
Yeah, definitely. Come see you. Check us out.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, man. And you be safe over there.
Thank you. Take care.